Hello everyone, today we're going to be drawing complex alkanes. First off, we're going to start with an easy one. We got 2,2-dichloro-4-isopropyl-heptane. By the way, if you can't read it on the board, I'll leave the name of these molecules in the description in case you can't see the letters. But this one, we're going to start with 2,2-dichloro-4-isopropyl-heptane. The first thing you want to do is identify your parent chain. It will always come at the end, and with alkanes it's always going to be anes, so heptane. Alright, so we know heptane is seven carbons, so we'll draw a 7-carbon chain. So 1 carbon, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to add our constituents, or not our constituents, sorry, our substituents. So in this case we have dichloro in position 2. So we're going to draw 2 bonds protruding from that second carbon and draw 2 chlorines, right? And for 4-isopropyl, see this is 2, carbon 3, carbon 4. Isopropyl is a propyl group that's just branched, so it's going to look something like that. So that is 2,2-dichloro, 4-isopropyl heptane. All right, now we'll go to this one here. If you can't read it, it's 1-1 in brackets, isobutoxypropyl, close parenthesis, 2,4-dimethylcyclohexane. So how do we draw this one? Well, know that we have the ending cyclohexane. Cyclohexane means that it's a 6-carbon ring, kind of like that of what you want to call it, I'm trying to think here, like a butane ring, right? But it's no double bonds, it's just 6-carbon ring. 6-carbon ring right there for you. So we're asked to do the substituents, right? Dimethyl's pretty easy. We'll call this carbon 2. Or actually, we'll call this carbon 2 to make this part a little bit easier for us. This is carbon 2. Methyl group here, it's dimethyl, so there's 2, 3, 4. So we have these 2 methyl groups that are coming out of that ring. All right, moving on to the 1-isobutoxypropyl. How you dissect these more complex substituents is you want to take it, right? This is going to be the parent, not really the parent, but the parent of that substituent, right? So it's in position 1, so we said this was position 1. We'll draw a propyl group. Propyl is 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3, we have it right there. And it's saying at position 1, there's an isobutoxy group. So what does isobutyl groups look like? Well, that's quite simple. Isobutyl is like the propyl group, but it has an extra carbon like that, so it goes whoop. Kind of like isopropyl, we have another carbon to add to it, right? So, and then this would be like connected to like R. Call that R. Okay. R in this case is going to be oxygen because we have the oxy suffix to it. So it's going to connect to an oxygen. That oxygen is going to branch out to a carbon. That carbon's going to, sorry, this is where R should be. R should be here. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Oxygen going to branch to a carbon, and then that is going to branch 2 ways. That is isobutyl oxypropyl. So hopefully that makes sense to you. You put it all together. In position 1, we have 1 isobutoxypropyl, 2,4-dimethylcyclohexane. All right, moving on to a more complex example. We have this one here, if it's a little hard to read. This says 3-benzyl, 4-ethyl, 5-fluorooctane. So start with what you're given. At the end, you have octane, that's 8 carbons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we just have to add our substituents. So it's saying at carbon 3, there's a benzyl group. Now there's a difference between benzyl and phenyl. They still kind of mean the same thing, like you have a benzene ring, but they mean 2 different things. Benzyl is benzene with, let me just draw a benzene here. Phenyl, right, is just going to be directly connected to the carbon chain. This would be a phenyl ring. A benzyl ring, a benzyl substituent, is just going to have that budding carbon. So this is where the carbon would be connected to the carbon chain. It has a budding carbon. So that's important to keep in mind. So, but when we put it on, we know benzyl is going to have that budding, we call it a buddy carbon coming off of it, right? And then we have our benzene ring as such. So we have our benzene ring. So that's at carbon 3. At carbon 4, it says we have ethyl. Ethyl just means an alkane, right? Ethyl means 2 carbons, so just like that, 1, 2, 2 carbons. And at 5, it says we have fluorine, fluoro, fluorine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add that fluorine. That is 3 benzyl, 4 ethyl, 5 fluorooctane. Pretty simple. Now we have a crazy one. I do not think that you can read that from where the camera is, but it says 4 tert-butyl, 3, 5 diethyl, 1 iodo, 6, and in parentheses you have 2 methyl oxypropyl cycloheptane. Holy crap, that's a mouthful. I will keep that in the description. I'll put that name there for you. But what do we start with? The name, heptane. Heptane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. Oh, I made a mistake. We don't just have heptane, we have cycloheptane. So that's going to be a ring like this. Let me double check that I drew that ring right. Yes, I did. Okay. So let's start putting some carbons on. At 4, we have tert-butyl. So you can pick really anywhere on the molecule. We'll just right here. We know tert-butyl comes out to a central carbon and 3 methyl groups coming off of it. That's tert-butyl. So if we're saying this is 4, we're asked to put 3,5-diethyl, which we said last time with this example that ethyl groups are ethane-alkane substituents, right? This is diethyl, meaning there's 2 in position 3 and 5, so that means we have like that and like that. So ethyl 1, ethyl 2. And then it says at position 1 we have iodo, right? So this is carbon 3, 2, 1, right? So we have an iodo group there. And then at carbon 6 we have methoxypropyl, right? So if this is 5, this is 6, so it's going to be coming out of here. Well, we have a propyl base, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, right? And we have methoxy, so we're going to come out to an oxygen. And what is after the oxygen? A methyl group, so we just come out like that. So that there is 4 tert-butyl, 3, 5 diethyl, 1 iodo, 6, and in parentheses 2 methoxypropyl cycloheptane. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that was helpful for you. I'll make another video that instead of taking the names and drawing the structures, we have the structures and we're asked to name it. Thank you guys for watching.